Labour has a problem. Labour has a problem. Labour, in fact, has many problems. Problems that I think people have pointed out time and time again until some of us are blue in the face. We don't really know what Labour stand for because their messaging sucks. Now, in the recent elections, local elections, by-elections, council, and everything else, it wasn't expected that Labour would do extremely well for some of the issues that I just mentioned. Again, nobody really knows where they stand on most issues. And while Starmer can sometimes be effective and really, really good, poignant opposition, in my opinion, better than Corbyn was, to Boris Johnson's abysmal, anti-human and traitorous government, we still don't really know what the hell they stand for. And here we get an article from the Evening Standard, something that is actually being celebrated by the Conservatives. So, once again, Labour, nice one. In the article it says, Keir Starmer sacks Deputy Labour leader Angela-Rayner after election losses. It wasn't her fault, it was the party's fault. The party in general, the campaign issues that they have, the press office that they have. Again, something that I've sent emails to a number of times, and yet they've still not got it. Politics is very much run by dinosaurs who have their foot in the last century, ignoring the future. I mean, as an opposition leader, I think Jeremy Corbyn was as effective as a chocolate teapot, but he actually resonated with the younger votes until 2019. Anyway, continuing with the article. The article says, Deputy Leader Angela-Rayner has been sacked from her role as Chairman of National Campaign Coordination after the party's poor showing in the Super Thursday elections. Labour received a drubbing in the local elections, losing control of a host of councils and suffering defeat at the hands of Bojo and his Conservative government. In the Hartlepool by-elections, for the first time, the constituency has gone blue since its inception in the 1970s. As a side note, my own MP, Natalie Elphrick, was championing that we have no Labour, that it's all Conservative. Pretty sure. Yeah, it was Natalie Elphrick. I tried replying on Twitter, but I guess Natalie got tired of being called child murderer, so you can't really reply to almost all of her tweets. Hey ho. The sacking signals cracks at the top of the party, with rows over who was to blame for the election strategy. It's hard to read. It's hard to read because Labour have been told a number of times what to do, what not to do. It's not just me who have been shouting this at them. You have a ton of other people. There are a number of things that they could do to reach so many more people. And it's interesting, when you look at the actual numbers, it's not that people just voted Conservative. It's that Labour voters said, what's the point? And they didn't turn up to vote. That's the issue. Anyway, speaking on Friday, leader Sir Keir Starmer said he was bitterly disappointed with the results and vowed to take responsibility to fix Labour's election woes. Labour sources told The Times that Sir Keir sacked Ms Rayner in person earlier on Sunday. Yeah. Former Shadow Councillor John MacDonald said the decision to remove Ms Rayner was a cowardly avoidance of responsibility. The senior party figure tweeted, Keir Starmer said yesterday he took full responsibility and the election result in Hartlepool and their losses. Look, there's more to it. I'll link this down below. But here's the basic crux of the matter. Starmer should absolutely take responsibility because it is his fault. You know, buck stops with the guy at the top. And people didn't get out to vote. They have nothing to vote for. They have no confidence to vote for because they do not see what's in it for them. People who would typically vote Labour stayed home. That's what the numbers are indicating. Not that more people voted Conservative, but this is something that has to be drummed into people. This is something that Labour have to put out there. If you do not vote, Conservatives get the win. The more power the Conservatives have, the more they will destroy your lives. This is something the Labour Party don't just have to say as anecdotal evidence. They can say it with demonstrable facts. Homelessness, gone through the roof, consistently getting worse every single year. Child poverty, the exact same. Hell, a few months ago, the Conservatives, every single sitting member of the Conservative Party voted to let children starve. This is something every single Labour member should be screaming at the top of their lungs, including Keir Starmer. And yes, Rayner as well. And everyone else who's running for Labour or running for the Greens or running for the bloody Lib Dems. Hell, I've had more interaction this last few days with the local Liberal Demal candidates in this area than anyone else. Which is mental. Absolutely mental. Therein lies the problem. I said it at the start of this video. Politics, especially Labour right now, is full of people who have their feet firmly planted in the last century. It is not that people voted for Conservative. It is simply that traditional Labour voters, or people who would vote Labour, or people who would vote against the Conservatives, didn't go and vote. Labour, with mixed messaging, has given them nothing to vote for. Now, while Keir Starmer is better opposition than Jeremy Corbyn, what does he stand for? I can say it because I trudged through all this bollocks. But the average guy on the street, the average woman on the street, no idea. If you stand opposed to the Conservatives, all you will see is that Labour have supported the Conservatives. And that's it. That'll be the shallow take because most people don't follow politics. If you stand with the Conservatives, then why would you vote for Labour anyway? It's the same as why would you vote Lib Dem when you vote Conservative? Why go for Diet Coke when you've got Coke? That's the kind of scenario that we're in. Labour need to change. Now, final note, because I've seen a few people mentioning this, that Starmer should step down, let someone else take over. My answer to that is who? Who would take over from Starmer? I've seen a lot of people with issues and I've not been able to find the issues that they actually have. And I would love it if people could find those links. Find those links where Starmer was defending dirtbags instead of just saying this as an anecdote. Because I can't find those links. I've looked and I can't find them. But who else has got the qualifications and can embarrass the government? Now, Starmer's not doing it as much as he should, and he can do a lot bloody better, but when he brings his A game, he's really bringing that A game. Problem is the messaging on a daily basis. It's already been said, their YouTube presence sucks. And if you want to use the excuse of, oh, well, they don't have media supporting them, the media is against them because most of the media in the UK is right wing. Yeah, sure, but you know what? You've got YouTube and the Labour Party has a lot of fucking resources that most people don't. And yet there are a number of people who dwarf the views and engagements that Labour get on all of their social media. I hope Labour learns from this. But from my interaction with the Labour Party on their press, on their outreach and everything else, I'm not going to hold my breath.